John, a crushing defeat. Were you beaten by the better side today?
In the end we were. I think their togetherness and spirit was probably the difference. At times it was a decent League Two fixture, but when you look at the game back, they've scored two very poor goals and one on the break, and it was an even game, but that's a difference. They're a side that can play badly and win. At times this season, even when we've played well, we've lost. So that's a terrible habit to get into. It's one that we need to right. But I felt for the supporters today. I know I've been given a lot of stick. I got a bit when walking off, but I feel for them because they're a passionate lot who want to come and watch their team get results. And this season we haven't had enough. At times the criticism has been over the top, but today I thought they were excellent because considering where their team are in the table and some of the performances and where we've been lacking, I think they deserve credit because it's happened too often. And when you pay your hard-earned money to come and watch your team every week and it's your passion, I understand their frustration.
Did the Stags test their goalkeeper enough today, Scott Flinders?
No. There was a couple of times we got in reasonable positions, but in terms of shots on target, even blocked shots and things like that, it didn't happen enough. And it's the old cliche of both boxes. We've been very weak in our own box. The second goal, that just can't happen. And then of course when they get the third, we're dead and buried. We try and make some changes. We'll try to be positive with our substitutions, but they didn't come off either. So yeah, it's gut wrenching. So yeah.
You don't want to make excuses, never have been. But how big a decision was that in the 13th minute when Nicky Maynard went down? He was pulled to the ground and the referee waved play on.
It was interesting, Steve-O, because the officials before the game were very professional and spoke well with both teams, but they were emphasising to me what a massive game it was. So they'd obviously done their research in terms of our league position and what have you, and being honest, I think the occasion probably got the better of them today. When the referee came over and booked me, he looked like a rabbit in the headlights. So it was a pressure cooker at times. He made some big mistakes. He booked players that shouldn't have been booked and failed to book players that deserved it. So he had a tough afternoon as well, but that's not why we're stood here having lost 3-0 at home. We're stood here having lost 3-0 at home because we haven't been good enough, and it's happened too often this season. And like I say, I'm gutted for the whole football club.
That leads me to ask, why are Mansfield performing so below the standards expected?
I think I've got to take responsibility for the standards and spirits that needs to be driven into the players, because when they're done properly, when you're playing badly you win, when games are tight you come on the right side of it, and sometimes in the good dressing rooms, if you like, that I've played in, you can't believe that you've won. But when it happens consistently, it's not luck. I can stand here and say, we've had some awful luck this season. It's not luck. It's working hard for your luck. It's having that togetherness that gets you through the hard times. And at different stages of this season, we haven't had that. And at crucial points in games, when your backs are against the wall, we haven't had that.
I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, John. What are you holding your hands up for personally?
Not managing the group well enough, because they're a decent group at this level. Maybe not as good as some people make out, but there's been heavy investment, and essentially it's my job to get the best out of them, and that hasn't happened.
I want to put the microscope on that because I think it's a very honest answer. In what aspects have you not done enough?
Winning football matches, getting results. It's the business we're in. It doesn't matter how you get them. Of course, if you've got a process, it gives you more consistency. But I'm here to win football matches for this club. And so are my staff, so are my players. And thus far this season, we haven't won enough games.
But deeper than that?
Well, we can go into the technical side of it, the psychological side of it, Steve-O, but we'd be here all night. That's the nuts and bolts of it. It might be, stating the obvious, but haven't won enough games.
Do you still believe now, John, after this defeat, that this can still be a successful season for Mansfield?
I believe that we've got a mountain to climb now, but we're not dead. I think we need 17 wins for the remaining games, and of course, along with that, there's 26 games to go. You'll get some losses and draws, but that's the mountain we have to climb now. And yeah, that's how tough the challenge ahead is, and that's to get in the playoffs.
How big a challenge is this? Because at this moment in this period, defensively you're leaking goals and you're struggling to score up the top. It's a recipe for going nowhere in truth.
Completely agree. But stranger things have happened. People have achieved bigger things and had bigger mountains to climb. There'll be a team that comes late. The way we're playing at this minute in time, it won't be us. But there will be a team that comes late and gets into the playoffs. It always happens in every league. But for us to be that team, exactly what you just said, we're leaking too many goals, we're not scoring enough, and that's a recipe for disaster.
How do you see a way forward from here? Togetherness
is key. The boys pulling together. It's a difficult time. Nobody can hide away from that. It's a very, very difficult time for everybody involved. The whole football club is frustrated. And it saddens me that I'm the man on the front line, and that's how it feels for people. But of course, I'll never give up the fight. But that togetherness and spirit will be key to us coming through this and achieving what we want to achieve.
Yeah, you said that in the week, didn't you? You'll never give up the fight. You'll keep soldiering on.
Yeah, that's through my upbringing. The strongest steel goes through the hottest fires, and I've been absolutely torched at times. But I'll never give in.
Final question. Do you still believe in yourself, John?
Of course, yeah. Without being overconfident, I'll always believe in myself. I believe in my values. I believe in this football club, and I want it to be successful because of all the people that I'm connected to who are involved with it. It doesn't hurt anybody as much as it hurts me as much as anybody. So at times like this, straight after the whistle, it's an emotional, difficult time to take. But of course, that's when you need character, and football doesn't give you character, but it certainly finds out if you've got it.
The big question, is there enough character in this dressing room?
So far, we haven't seen it. You've got to be honest, so far there hasn't been enough. But equally, it's up to me to find it and get it out with the players. It's going to be a hard period between now and January. If we need to freshen it up and get people in to help us, that could be an option. But taking responsibility, it's getting the best out of the players, getting that character out with them, and giving them belief. Because again, at crucial times this season, whether it be in a game or a short period, we haven't seen enough of it.
Appreciate your time as ever, John.
Thank you.